Today, we're naming our top 50 players in the NBA. This list will be going into next season, so it's not an all-time ranking.
Of course, it's important to remember that this is our opinion, and we would love to know your opinions in the comments below. Before we get started, we just want to let you guys know that we're going to split it into two parts. Today's going to be 50 through 26.
So, let's get straight into it with number 50, Draymond Green. The Warriors are obviously still really high on Draymond, giving him a pretty substantial contract this offseason. Draymond is still a great defender and probably the second most important player on that team.
At number 49, we got one of the best players that's never made an All-Star team in CJ McConnell. I feel like CJ has been a great bet to the young guys in the Pelicans. We're talking about a guy that can play both on and off the ball. He's not extremely ball dominant, so that doesn't take away from players like Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. But he can still go and get you that bucket.
Next up, this one might be pretty low, but we got Fred VanVleet. Look, we're not super mad at the contract because the Rockets had the money to spend, and we think he'll be a great mentor to the young guys. Our issue is that Fred had an extremely inefficient season, and although I expect improvement, Fred has always been an inefficient player.
At 47, we got the reigning Rookie of the Year, Paulo Manquero. It feels like to me, he was a bit underrated this season, which is crazy because, like I said, he won Rookie of the Year. He has one of the best bodies in the NBA. Pause. He's tall, strong, and can run the floor well. And he can even handle the ball. What he needs to work on is the shooting, as you saw him go on some of the coldest stretches I've ever seen. But we see the potential. I think he's going to develop it down the road. And I think this season is going to take an even bigger step and maybe become an all-star.
Next, we have another young player in the league with Evan Mobley. This dude is already one of the best defenders in the NBA. Literally his second season, finishing top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year. And this guy's offense also has a lot of potential. If he develops even a 35% three-point shot, the Cavs will be true threats in the East.
At 45, we got the young Sumerian. He's got a big contract extension. And he actually had a very solid and low-key season. He's developed his offensive game so much, and it's absolute money from the mid-range. He was probably also the best player in the team in the playoffs until he got suspended. And I would think that next season, him and Trae Young are going to make it work even better.
With 44, we got Desmond Mason. This is a guy who's going to have so much opportunity this year with Ja out. He's a guy who we've seen grow so much as a player, and I don't expect that to change. He's probably going to be the main offensive weapon in the team, which will help him grow his confidence for when Ja comes back. This team is going to be scary.
Next, we got a guy who has become known for making stupid comments, Karl Anthony Towns. You can say what you want about him, but he's one of the most talented players in the NBA, and probably the best three-point shooting center of all time. And offensively, not many people match up to him. He's got to be able to defend better in the perimeter, though, if he wants to make it work with Rudy Gobert. But we do expect him and the Timberwolves to have a way better season next year.
Next, at 42, we got one of our favorites, a guy that we've been rooting for since he's been in the league, LaMelo Ball. It's actually this dude was injured for most of the season, but he did get a massive contract extension, and I cannot wait for him to go out and show just how talented he really is. He's really impressed me on the defensive end and with him being more under control. Obviously, he still got a ways to go until he's great at these things, but man, I cannot wait for the Hornets next season. I think they're going to be a lot of fun.
Up next, at number 41, we got Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday has pretty much become the second best player on the Bucks. He's still one of the best defenders in the league, and he has played pretty solid offensively. And it's a perfect player for that team or almost any team for that matter. On the new coach, Adrian Griffin, I expect him to look even better than ever because Bud, I feel overused him defensively, especially in the playoffs.
At number 40, we got Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps had a really underrated and actually pretty efficient season last year. He was able to stay healthy, which we haven't seen in a while. I think his role in Boston is going to be absolutely crucial in providing a post presence, which is something they've lacked for a long time.
At number 39, we got DeMar DeRozan. One of the best bucket getters in the league, and he has been that for almost a decade now. Obviously, he's getting older, and I expect him to be traded this offseason. But he's still a bucket, and his versatility could be absolutely huge for a contender.
At 38, we got the new starting point guard for the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal. A move that I'm really excited about. I feel like the playmaking will fit a lot better with KD and Boogie. He's a guy that can make plays for others but won't hold the ball for too long and is able to play off of it. This is finally going to be his chance to show that he can actually help teams win.
At 37, we got Zach LaVine. Obviously, the contract and injury problems are concerning. But Zach is one of the most fun and talented offensive weapons in the league. And he's gotten so much better at literally everything else in his game. And we only expect him to get better.
At 36, we got one of my favorite point guards in the league in Darius Garland. I think Darius needs to be a lot more consistent this year to take the Cleveland Cavaliers to the next step. I think he can do it. I was impressed on how well he adapted to playing alongside Donovan Mitchell, but I need to see more of it. This guy is super talented, but he's got to find ways to impact the game when he's playing off the ball.
At number 35, we got somebody who just recently became one of the best players in the NBA, Michael Bridges. To me, this is based on what he did in Brooklyn last season, because I do think he's going to continue it and only get better. Michael's such a great defender, and he has shown us that he can create a shot for himself as well. His playmaking, I think, is going to take another step this season because he's talked about how much he loves to be a passer in the past.
At 34, we got Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr. This man has become probably the best shot blocker in the league. With Ja out, I expect him to get a lot more touches so he can show how versatile he really is.
At 33, we got Julius Randle. I hope the good season, bad season, good season, bad season pattern doesn't continue for him. He was able to play almost every single game up until the end, which is a very underrated thing in the league nowadays. If he plays to his strengths and doesn't take the difficult shots that are unnecessary, he can elevate his game even more. He's got all the tools in the world.
At 32, we got Larry Marketing. I'm not sure what to expect from the Jazz this season, but I do know that Larry is going to be critical to their success. He's going back to the small forward position, so I think it's going to be critical for him to be able to space the floor for John Collins and Walker Kessler. Hopefully the addition of Collins doesn't take away from his post touches. I'm expecting Larry to take a jump this season, for sure.
At 31, we have somebody who we feel like has been a bit forgotten, Brandon Ingram. He had a lot of injury issues, but man, this guy's so talented, and I think him and Zion can make a great pairing if they're both healthy. One of the most underrated things about BI is that he's still so young.
At 30, we get Tyrese Halliburton. I love Tyrese, man. One of the few pass-first point guards in the game. He's got great size for his position, and I only see great things from him going forward. The Pacers were really good when he played, and I expect him to be even better.
At number 20 now, we got somebody who used to be in the top 10 every single season, James Harden. This is the lowest he has been in forever, and his playoff performances have disappointed me time and time again. Recently, he's been switching teams almost every season, and if he doesn't figure out soon, he's just going to continue to slide. We had come up with a few James Harden videos, and it's obviously he's getting a lot of weight, which is slowing him down and causing him to get more injured.
28, we got Pascal Siakam. Siakam's always been super underrated. This man excels in every facet of the game, and yet he doesn't receive the credit he deserves. That's why I really want him to go to another team. There are so many players on the Raptors who play the same way as him, so hopefully he gets traded.
Next, we had Jamal Murray, who's one of the biggest playoff rises in the league, coincidentally at number 27. The last time we saw Jamal at this point of his career, he suffered the horrible ACL injury. With him helping lead his team to a championship as the second best player, I fully expect him to get the respect he deserves. It's going to be tough for him to become an all-star because there's so many good point guards in the West and shooting guards, but I do think there's definitely a chance. Once he's removed from his injury as well as his team, losing key pieces is going to open up a lot of opportunities for him.
Next, we got Jalen Brunson at 26. Jalen was the missing piece for the Knicks last season. He took them to another level. And with the addition of Dante DiVincenzo and a full year of Josh Hart, I expect his rise to continue. I see him making an all-star game this season and the Knicks being even better.
So with that, our 50 to 26 players ranking concludes. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the comments. The top 25 is coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And make sure to comment down because, a lot of different opinions can be had on this list. It's very controversial.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and peace out.
Peace out.